Welcome to Spiritual Success, the podcast. I'm your host, Cynthia Stant. As a dedicated student of metaphysics, I have skillfully honed my intuition, mastered the art of meditation, and cultivated a disciplined spiritual practice that has led me to become a multi-seven-figure top sales producer. Today, I work with thousands of business professionals, entrepreneurs, and their teams to up-level their sales game and create magic in their business and life. On this show, you will see that all success truly happens when you authentically align with your intuition. So come, be vulnerable, be open-minded, and allow success to pour through you here on Spiritual Success. Hello, successful souls. Okay, so in this week's episode, I wanted to reflect because I'm getting a whole bunch of synchronicities. So obviously I teach, right? I have my program, Spiritual Success, where I have the most amazing women, most of them entrepreneurs, looking to up-level and excel and find success in all areas of life, not just business and finance. Of course, we know there is so many other categories where we can have success, whether that's in loving relationships, romantic ones with their clients, ones with our families, our children, whether that, one with ourselves, how about that too, right? Hitting our goals, health, fitness, mindset, spirituality, everything, okay? Now, the thing is, I'm a big fan, and you can always find me saying, just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. But also there are things we can see and there are things that we can witness, and we can use that on a way to judge and label how we are doing. And very, very, very often I will see people who fail and they give up. No. I want to celebrate your failures. I want to celebrate your failures. One thing that I just got out of, I literally just hopped out of, and probably why I'm motivated right now, is having my own session with my own mindset coach. Yes, I have my own mindset coach. If I expect people to invest in me, I better be investing in myself, right? And there's always somebody bigger, better, who's doing it faster, quicker, smarter than you that you can learn from and grow from. And you should always have a coach, right? Or a mentor, somebody that is up-leveling you and that is helping you to really dig deeper and get a bigger return. Your energy is just as important as money. What you put out there is what you get back. And just remember that. So here's the thing. We were just discussing the idea of the law of polarity. Now, without diving too deep into the law of polarity, what I want you to understand is that basically everything has an equal opposite. But it's our judgment that says when one flips into the other. So a very common, example would be hot and cold. Both are opposites, right, on the scale of temperature. But the question is, when does hot actually become cold? Now that I'm a Floridian, that's a lot different than when I used to live up in the Northeast, right? I've adjusted. And we all know that crazy person. Why do we know that crazy person that just loves wearing shorts in the snow? To that person, cold isn't that bad. To others, it is. But what is your story? What is your truth? What is your reality? And how are you labeling and, judging and making things be what they are for you? So in today's discussion with my mindset coach, Melanie, she was talking a lot about feeling all the feels. We all want to experience love. I have a lot of love in my life. And foundational love really starts with yourself. You need to have a foundation so that you can pile upon it. But the thing is, you cannot experience love without experiencing pain. It's impossible, because how would you know what love felt like if you didn't have something to compare it to? Pain. So when you experience pain, you can't shun away from it and be like, I'm never going to love again because this pain, it was so hurtful. You need to be willing and open to feel all the feels. You want it all. You want it all. You want to experience all of it. And same thing goes for success. I'm not going to break it down too much, but I want to give you a little taste of last week's session that I had with my clients. And we were talking about failure, right? Failure. Oh my goodness, as children, you get that big red F on your paper with the circle. You have to have your parents sign it, and then you're grounded, and then all these terrible things. You're a failure. You failed. That's so terrible. Well, we talked about it last week in our last week's episode, right? We talked about consistency and repetition being the key of your success. Well, if you never give up, you can't truly fail. So what does your failure, really say about you? So if you want to have a lot of success, then you need to understand you need to experience a lot of failure. You need to be vulnerable. I'll say that again. You need to be vulnerable. Being vulnerable is your biggest superpower. Feeling all the feels and experiencing all there is. Because this is where we break it down metaphysically. It is law. The tides go out and they come in. A pendulum will swing equal amounts the same way, right? The moon has its phases, right? As women, we go through our cycles. Things are secular. And you need to understand that if you want to experience the highs of the highs, you have to, by law, experience the lows of the lows. But when you experience the lows of the lows, please do not go and define them as terrible. Good or bad does not exist. It doesn't exist. It's the way that you label and choose to look at it. And how are you defining it differently than somebody else, right? We take for granted so many things that are wonderful that so many other people wish they had, and they don't. But we do, and we still are like, oh, so hard. Meh. Meh. Right? Why? Only you choose the label. So I told my clients, I want to hear about their failures. In fact, I want to celebrate them. Because if they have some shitty, low failures, that's exciting. That means by law, they're going to experience wonderful, huge, fantastic wins. You have to experience the lows of the lows to have the highs of the highs. And if you're somebody that just likes to be comfortable and sit in a cubicle and plateau, well, that's okay. That's okay. If that is for you. But just know, you will not have the biggest of biggest wins if you remain comfortable. You won't. Success happens when you get comfortable with being uncomfortable. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable and you allow yourself to fail. I can't wait to hear about all the failures from you. I've had plenty, and I'm sure I'm going to have a ton more. I have a million quotes. I'm not sure if you knew this, but I love a good quote. I shared a ton of them with my clients last week to give them some motivation. I'm not going to do that as much here right now, but I wanted to pick a few that I loved. Oh, good one here. While creating the light bulb. Oh, that amazing thing that we take for granted that literally benefits us in every single way. Well, while creating the light bulb, Thomas Edison said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that it won't work. Could you imagine if he gave up? No. No. Thank God he didn't. I know you're going to guess this one before I even say who it is. I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted with a game-winning shot and missed. I have failed over and over, and I love how it doesn't stop here, but it keeps going, and over again. That is why I succeed. Michael Jordan. Ooh, right? Right? Here is my favorite quote. So here's the funny thing. I have been studying metaphysics for numerous years now, again, with so many different mentors and so many different spiritual groups, at the College of Metaphysical Studies, and I've been obsessed. Every book, I'm reading all of them. There's always one by me. And the thing is, I have little boys. I'm the only girl in my house. In fact, I'm sitting right now in my new little goddess section of my corner that I set up. I have my crystals next to me. I have my journal next to me. I have my beautiful furry blanket throw where I can just have mommy time and be myself, because that's so necessary. But being surrounded by boys, they've got me into Star Wars. Star Wars. Now, I have to admit, I don't love it as much as they do, but it is pretty cool when you start learning metaphysics. Oh my goodness, those movies are jam freaking packed with metaphysical goodness. I swear I'm Rey. Yes, I am a living, breathing Jedi. But if you really want to listen from a Master Yoda, he's the one you want to listen to. And no, I'm sorry, I won't do my Master Yoda voice, but very, very amazing quote. You want to know the difference between a master and a beginner? The master has failed more times than the beginner has ever tried. You need to be committed to your failure. You need to be consistent with failing. I always say in sales, you guys know I've managed so many sales teams, different numbers, different ages, men and female, so many different industries. But I've always told them, how many no's did you get today? That's it? Double it. What? Yes. If you're not putting yourself out there, you're not getting no's. In order to get yeses, you have to put yourself out there. So the number of no's determines if you're going to get the right amount of yeses. It's how it works. Those yeses are going to be huge wins. Huge, huge, huge wins. Keep going. Keep going. Practice. Consistency and repetition is the key to your success. Be committed to failure. By law, you have to have failures in order to have big wins. You can start with the big wins. In fact, you can have 20 big wins. But ooh, that's called beginner's luck. I've always had it. And I know you know people who have. Then it always is like, oh, this is easy. I got this. This is so, oh my gosh, it's never been. It got hard. It got really, really hard. The new phase is over. And you got to work your way back up. But you will. The best of you will. The most successful of you will. Stay committed. I want you to commit to your failures. And when you are at the very bottom, do you have the mindset to push through? Do you have the mindset to label it as a win and be grateful for the failure because you know that means the positive is coming through. The win is going to be here. I don't know when, and you may not know either, but by law, it will. Absorb that. Feel that. Allow yourself to feel all the feels, the pains and the loves, the failures and the wins, right? And it's up to you to decide on the scale of it where you want to define it as the tipping point. Well, successful souls, I want to remind you that I am beyond pumped. October 19th, we will be hosting the Mastering Meditation for Success workshop inside my Facebook group, the Spiritual Success Sorority. And after the workshop, we will be enrolling in our next round of the Spiritual Success Group program. I am beyond pumped. You should hear the amazing results are August, my gosh, it's August already. The clients have been getting. I'm so excited for you to hear some of their testimonials and just the breakthroughs within the first month of the program. It's really been mind-blowing. So I just want to remind you, you are welcome. It is a free workshop. Amazing, feedback that I got from that. When you ask, you shall receive. We'll do round 2. We'll do it again, right? I'm really looking forward to that. Want to see you on the inside, again, of the Spiritual Success Sorority Facebook group. Come on in. We have free topics every single week that I'm going to do trainings on. You get a vote for the topic. Again, I don't like to just talk. I don't want to talk about things I think you want to hear. I want to talk about what I know you want to hear. So come get involved and be surrounded by like-minded, community where they're there to up-level and cheer on your successes. And guess what? Your failures too. The small, the big, all of it. Because you deserve it and you're worthy. Acknowledge it, embrace it, see it through. Hey, successful soul. Before you head to the next episode of Spiritual Success, be sure to come join me and other like-minded entrepreneurs and business professionals in my Facebook group called Spiritual Success Sorority. Everyone is welcome. And if you're loving the show, you're going to love the group even more. There, I'll be engaging with you weekly in live shows, listening to your input for new weekly topics, and hosting exclusive workshops for members only. So if you're looking to really up-level your financial and personal success, meet me on over in the Spiritual Success Sorority Facebook group. See you on the inside.